Prost.
Zum Wohle.
Oh, I didn't even drink it.
Hey guys, what's going on? It is your boy DQ, and obviously I'm not alone today, so introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, I am Aliyah. I do YouTube as well, and it's Aliyah Renee, so if you guys are interested, just head on over.
I will post her details down below so you guys can actually go check her out. She has a couple videos coming out, so stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned.
Yes. So it seems like a lot of you guys are not subscribed to my channel, so you know what? Hit that subscribe button down below. I bring you videos all about Germany, and yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, y'all.
Hit it, smash
It'll be worth it.
So Aliyah and I know each other how?
So we had the same internship in Germany. He was before me, and when I arrived, that's kind of how we met. You stayed. Yeah,
that's how we met. So we actually live in the same city, never met before,
Right.
and yet we have the same exact job.
Yeah.
And so yeah, now we're back in the U.S. because of COVID. Dang
Yeah,
it.
COVID.
And we're doing YouTube together. Woo! So today we're actually going to talk about how Germany changed us.
Yeah, and it did.
It did. It changed
Definitely
us
did.
so much. It's just crazy. I've grown up so much.
Me too.
I need to sip on that.
This is one of the things that have changed about me.
But yeah, let's get into this video.
All right, let's get into it. So, you know, Germany, when we were there, we had internships, and obviously our families didn't come with us. So we had to grow up. We had to become independent.
Yeah, we had like a set salary because it was an internship. For those of you who are German, you know that the internships, you don't get paid a lot. We were making, well, when I was there, I think you were making more than
Really?
me.
Okay.
Because my first year, I made 520 euros a month. My
Okay.
second year, I made 570 euros a month.
Yep, mine was 570 starting.
570?
Yep.
And see, that for me, that was my raise for being there for another year.
It doesn't sound like much, you know, 570 euros, but we also didn't have to pay for our housing, and we didn't have to pay for food, really. We worked at a boarding school, so there was breakfast, lunch, and dinner available to us if we wanted it.
Right.
So that definitely helped, you know, with that budget.
But yeah, but like you said, we didn't have to pay for our housing or food, but the food kind of got repetitive after a while. And I'm like,
it did.
I don't want to eat this again.
Did you have a favorite from the cafeteria?
I did have a favorite. It was always the Schweinebraten.
Ooh, I don't even know.
So that's like the pork type thingy that they had. It was so good.
Yeah.
And I love the crepes that we had too.
Oh, those were good.
The crepes were really good.
Those days, I definitely got out of bed and went down there to go get some.
Yeah, but our dinner was always lunch. Whatever you had at lunch, what was left over was the dinner.
Oh, yep, that's true. That's true. Because not all of the kids went to dinner, so
Yeah.
they just gave the leftovers out.
Yeah, and so I knew how to cook, but I became more of a person that would cook more. And so, you know, we had the Edeka in the town, so I would always be at Edeka.
Yeah.
And yeah, but you just have to grow up so fast. And
You do. And I actually learned how to cook a lot in Germany because, you know, you just have to. And I got tired of the dinner, and I got kind of tired of the cafeteria food after a while. And I took on vegetarianism at the time because it was easy. Yeah. So I was definitely in my room cooking all the time. That's another thing.
And also because since it was a very small town, we didn't really have any friends or anything. And so when I said you had to be independent, you had to be independent and you had to be mentally strong, because we only have the students there, and we're like, well, you're like 6 years younger than me.
Yeah, it's like, are we gonna hang out or can we hang out?
It's like, oh, is this illegal?
Right.
Like, you can have a beer.
Yeah,
so I guess it's okay.
Yeah, that part was that was odd to adjust to.
Yeah.
You know, not knowing anyone. But yeah, totally makes you grow up. You have to get around on your own. Like, you know, it's just a whole different dynamic. Being without your sisters, brothers, like family in general, friends from back home. Nobody, you know? You're like starting from scratch.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And so moving on to, like, since we were only making 570 euros a month, we had to learn how to budget. So that was a huge thing, like budgeting.
And I'm not, listen, I like to spend my money on me. Like, It was hard. It was hard for a little while.
Same, like even in the US, even though I was working full-time, I was a full-time student, had 2 full-time jobs. So my weeks were literally 60 to 80 hour weeks. Just
Jeez.
from school to work to my other job and back to school. Like my days were literally 6 o'clock in the morning to 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oof. That's
It
a
was
lot.
intense.
Yeah.
And so since I was working all like that, even though I had bills, I was paying my bills, I still had a lot of money left over. So there wasn't really a budgeting that I had to do because even if I spent all my money for the month, I'm like, crap, I have to pay my rent and everything.
Right, exactly.
That last week of the month, I knew I was gonna make all my bill money.
Yeah.
But in Germany, since we were only making 570 euros a month, it was like, oh,
That's it.
how am I gonna make this work over the next month? I needed clothes, and I was like, oh, I can't go shopping.
Can't go shopping.
But what became the first year, it was very difficult for me to
why?
budget. I don't know.
Budget, yeah.
It was mainly because
What were you buying, DQ? Like,
I think it was spent mainly on alcohol.
yeah, I mean,
A lot of it was spent on alcohol because, like we said, it was a very small town and I had to become very independent, and so I kind of became depressed. And so I drank a lot my first year at this internship.
yeah, and I mean, it's easy to go get something to drink there, so I totally get that.
Yeah.
But yeah, budgeting was a huge thing for us. I wanted to spend all my money on going different places. So, but luckily it's not that expensive in Europe. But really, like, once I got paid, I like budgeted that whole check to like spend it on like different countries and whatever. So yeah, it's a lot.
What was really easy for me, the first year, like I said, every single time I would just spend my whole check. But my second year, I was able to budget myself so well to the point where I was only spending around 200 to 270 euros a month. I wanted to save at least 300 euros a month, and I made it work.
Oh yeah, that's
So
good.
I was saving 300 euros a month, and that 300 euros went towards a trip somewhere.
Okay, cool.
And so that's how I was able to go to like Switzerland and everything. And Switzerland is expensive. I don't know how people
the
budget for that, but
Yeah.
oh my God.
The chocolate, like what? Chocolate's expensive there too.
No, just Switzerland in general. Have you been?
No, I never got to go.
Girl,
Just a little
do
bit.
not go to Switzerland unless you got some cash.
Bread.
It is expensive. Like when I say expensive, I went to Burger King at the train station.
Oh my God.
My meal, it was just a meal, a burger, fries, and a drink.
I had a drink
Was
with
like 20 euros. It was so
No.
yo.
No, I never went there.
Oh.
And I guess I'm glad I didn't since we were on such a budget.
Oh my gosh. What really helped me though, people told me how expensive it was and they were like, bring food, bring alcohol. And I did.
Goodness.
Swiss people,
Y'all got banked.
y'all want to get married? Like, come on now.
Right, where you
if
at?
you're Swiss and you want to get married, let me know down below. Yeah, talking about traveling, since I've been in Switzerland and stuff, that's another thing that's really changed us about Germany and whatnot, is that they really value travel and vacation.
Oh yeah, it's a big deal. And we worked like we said, we worked at a boarding school, so the kids got a lot of holidays off, which we in turn got off as well. So yeah, plenty of time to travel and go see other places. I definitely value travel a lot more now because of that. You know, I just got to see so many cool places that, like, in America, I mean, granted, we have the beaches, we have the mountains, we have everything too. It's just a different feel in
It's a different
Europe.
vibe.
It's a totally different vibe. It's more like natural and like a raw like sense of nature. I don't even know how to put that really, but it was beautiful just seeing different places like that.
I have to agree. It was, even though my family and I always took vacations when I was younger, so I had the feel for traveling and everything, but I've never really been out of the country.
Okay, yeah.
My grandfather's from Barbados, so I've been to Barbados all the time, but it never felt like a vacation for me because I was always going to see his family. And so, and also I was a lot younger, so it was always just like something I did. I have also been to Aruba, and I've been kind of to some places around the US, but I've never been like, oh, let's go. Even being from Boston, Canada is right there. I've never been to Canada. I've never been to Mexico. I don't know what made me say, okay, I want to do an internship in Germany, but I did. And then I ended up going to like 20 something countries while I was there.
It's awesome though. And like for me, I never traveled. I hadn't even gotten on a plane before I went to Germany.
Really?
Yeah, that was my first plane ride.
Oh, actually you did know because you flew with Drew.
Yeah.
You said you were freaking out.
I was freaking out. The plane was turning and I thought we were flipping over. It was terrible, but I got there safely, so that's good.
Right.
Yeah, and that was my first time really on a plane, and you know, from there I was like, I'm here. Travel is cheap here. I'm gonna see other places. Like once I get back to America, it's gonna break my bank to just freaking come back over here and see Europe. So yeah, I took advantage of that for sure.
Even when we went on the vacation together, I forgot you were freaking out on the plane. You were DQ.
Yeah, maybe that was my third plane ride by then. So
we went to Portugal together.
Yeah,
so
that was awesome.
I love Portugal.
Wasn't it so cool?
So beautiful.
That was my favorite country. Like if I could go back, Portugal would be my country of choice. Yeah, you're just popping though.
Yeah,
you're like popular.
Really
Yeah, people love your personality.
I'm just, you know, I'm a really good friend.
You know, that's
really
why we're
good.
friends. Like, that's why I'm here.
So with the like traveling and everything, so like public transportation.
Oh yes, totally different. Well, I mean, like in New York here, I know people use a lot of public transportation.
Yeah. Also being from Boston, we have a huge public transportation system.
Not in North Carolina.
Not in North Carolina.
Hell no.
Public transportation, yeah.
Okay.
Public transportation isn't really a thing in the U.S. and a lot of people say, oh, the U.S. isn't built for it. And I'm like, but look what they're doing in Charlotte. They built a train system.
Yeah, it's
and
possible.
They're building another train system. So it is possible. It's just that the states just don't want it. I just think that it's not a necessity because a lot of these like train systems and everything, where do they go? They go in big cities, which has a large minority population.
True.
I know people don't want to be like, oh no, that's not really true, but it kind of really is true. A lot of these places are for minorities because people who have money have cars.
Right.
So they don't need the public transportation.
Yeah, they're not even going to really use that.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
So it really is more or less for the minorities, for the people who low income and everything.
Yeah,
so
low income more so.
Yeah.
And college students who don't have money anyway.
College students as well. Our train system is actually out of the university. So.
Right. Well, I think it should expand here in America, but definitely in Europe, like in Germany, I had to figure out, you know, I had to look up the train times. I had to look up when is the train leaving, when is it coming. Like, okay, I have to take a bus to get to the train. It was so much, and I don't know. It
And
changed.
with the Deutsche Bahn, it's always late.
Oh
And so if your bus was late, you missed that train, and now you have to wait an hour for the next train. It was just so complicated. But now I kind of appreciate it a little more.
I do. I appreciate it. It was cool. So that's a big thing. Public transportation. That changed me. I mean, I still don't really use it here in America, but
Me neither.
just the idea of like just knowing how to use it was a valuable thing that I learned in Germany.
And I guess the last two kind of like tie into one another. Being more open to languages and also being open to racial inequality.
Yeah, right. Oh, it's such a different. It's so different. It's similar. I mean, everywhere you can experience racial inequality. In Germany, it's to a different group of people.
Yeah. Even in like Poland, they're super racist towards the Germans. And so Germans feel the racism when they go to Poland, but if you look inside of Germany, they're super racist towards like the Turkish people and Africans.
Yeah, that was so shocking to me.
It surprised me because
Me
they
too.
really love black people.
Yeah, like American black people, it's just a different dynamic, but I don't know. It's like they treated African people just differently. Oh yeah, that was tough to see.
It was weird. A lot of times I had to find myself saying, "Dude, I'm American."
Yeah, exactly.
For them to treat me a little bit differently. They're like, "Oh, you're American. Oh, cool. How do you like Trump?"
Right.
I got that so much. How do you like Trump?
God.
And I'm just like, oh my gosh. But a lot of the racism and the racial inequality I felt came from a lot of Russians in
Oh my
Germany.
gosh, yes. I always say that. That's
Yeah.
so crazy. Yep. So from my experience, what I noticed was that. So at the school that I worked at, I noticed that in the students. I don't know. It's just like Russians hold themselves really on a high pedestal, which is fine. You know, that's how their culture is probably. But to downgrade other people, to boost yourself up,
Right.
that I saw that happen a few times. Yeah.
It really shocked me because, like I said, a lot of the racism that I actually experienced in Germany came from Russians. Like, I've got approached by so many Russians that were like, oh, do you not know what these people do? Go back to where you come from. But I'm just like, one, you can't really speak German. Your German is bad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oh,
I'm like, my German is 10 times better than you, and you've lived here longer than me.
dude, yeah.
And also, a lot of the Russians kind of don't leave their communities, so they also have their Russian communities. I do know a lot of Germans are like, oh yeah, the Turkish have their communities. If you're in Germany, try to branch out.
I mean, but if you look at it for what it is, it's segregation of each other, really. You know, when
It's self-imposed segregation.
yeah. So I don't know. I think I like when different cultures intertwine and you learn things from different cultures and things like that. It's hard to do that. I get it. But it did make me realize how much of a melting pot we are here in America. We really are. And other countries are still kind of stuck in their ways with that.
Are there closed-minded people in the world? Of course, there's always gonna be
everywhere.
closed-minded people. But I just didn't realize how broad it was across the world. Like, I never knew the Polish were racist towards Germans. I never knew Germans were racist towards the
didn't either.
Turkish.
I never even
And
thought about that.
Yeah, you just didn't think about it. So it really opened my eyes to like, okay, this also exists in other places of the world as well.
It really does. Yeah, and it sucks. It does.
Just like the whole languages. Learning German wasn't that difficult for me because I am a polyglot. I learn languages pretty easy, but I've never lived in a foreign country before. And so living in Germany, hearing German all the time, me speaking German all the time, literally after like 2 months, I had such bad headaches. Like splitting headaches. I don't know. I think it was the constant, my brain trying to translate everything. I literally got such bad headaches and I'm like, I can't do this. Like it got to the one point where I was like, I can't speak any German because my head hurts too much.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
And I don't know why that happened. I just never been in a place. It was like my brain was trying to rewire itself.
And that's what happens.
To learn and adapt to the German culture and everything.
And when you have to switch between languages like that all constantly, your brain is literally flipping off switches and flipping switches back on. So yeah, I can totally understand that. But yeah, learning German, it was a challenge. Luckily, we lived in like a very small village to start out, so nobody really, like the English speaking there was sparse. Yeah, not so good. The younger kids spoke pretty good English, but like the adults that we worked with did not. And yeah, and those are the people we really had to communicate with. So yeah, I learned German pretty quickly like that. Other languages, you know, I was more open to, trying to figure out what they were saying versus like, oh, speak what I speak, you know?
Right.
That's not okay.
It's so easy in the US to be like that because everyone speaks English, so it's so easy to just be like, I'm sorry, I don't understand. Can you speak English or can we find someone that does? But moving to Germany and literally forcing myself to speak the same language as these other kids, it opened my mind to like, it's not easy.
Yeah, no.
It's not. Like, you literally had to find a way to communicate, even if it was with your hands or by...
Or you literally Google Translate.
It made you open-minded because then it's like, crap, I don't speak the language here. And so you're forced to... you're now in that category and it's like, okay, dang.
Right, you have to adapt. It's the other way around completely.
But yeah, all in all, I do think Germany changed me for the better.
Oh,
do you think it changed you for the better?
Oh my gosh. I grew up so much, you know? I felt like before Germany, I was like kind of a wild child. I just was like living my best life and whatever. But having to learn how to be independent, learning how to use the transportation, like learning a new language to communicate with people. It's all so different than anything I'd experienced in America. So yeah, totally made me a better person.
Yeah, I have to agree. It made me a better person. It made me grow up. in a way where I found out what my self-worth is.
Oh yeah.
I learned a lot about myself. I learned that I am stronger than what I am, that I am able to do this, because I was gonna quit my job after 3 months because it was hard. But then I realized you can't just run away from things that are hard, you have to push through them. So Germany definitely changed me for the better and everything, and
Yeah, probably the only bad thing is that I drink a lot more now.
Yeah.
I drink a lot more.
And cheers to that. Alright guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video.
Yeah, hope you guys liked our conversation, you know, got some good information from us.
Again, I will put her details down below. We are coming out with more videos, so make sure you hit that subscribe button to see our other videos that we are bringing to you. Click one of the videos on the screen right now to see other videos that I put out. I like to bring you guys differences between Germany and the US, and yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.
See ya.
Peace out.
Bye.
Ugh.